What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and today we are spending a real day in the life with the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And you know how we do in these videos. I'll be taking you through a full day with the phone so we can test out everything you want to know, like the battery, camera, performance, so we can see how it works in the real world. So let's see how it does. All right, guys, so real day in the lifetime, obviously, but I'm in a bit of a predicament. As you can see, I'm only at 43% to start the day, so I need to go ahead and charge this up. Luckily, we got Anker's newest chargers, 45 watts right in this tiny bad boy. Hopefully this can help me get this thing charged up quickly so we can get the rest of the day started. Now, if you want to pick this phone up, you should know it doesn't come with a charger, but that's where Anker comes in. Not only do they sponsor today's video, but they make some of the best power accessories in the game, including their new 313 and 312 chargers. The 313 is a 45 watt charger with super fast charging 2.0, meaning you get peak charging performance so you can get a full charge on the S23 Ultra in less than an hour. You get that kind of performance while keeping a low profile thanks to their NAND technology, giving it higher energy efficiency, upgraded heat dissipation, and that compact size. And if you plan on going the compact route with your phone and you pick up something like the standard S23, you might want to look at their 312 charger that hits you with 25 watts of peak charging for that phone. If you plan on picking one of these phones up and you want the best charger for it, you know I'll have links down below in the description so you know where to grab them. All right, you guys, so about 20 minutes later, we are at 78%. I can live with that. If I had 29 more minutes, I would have been full, but I'll take it. Now I gotta wrestle this guy and take him to school. You ready, Austin? You don't have to, that's great. All right, so now we're gonna take a quick pic of the fit. Don't mind his hair, it's getting done today. We'll take a before and after picture. But all right, buddy, you ready?
Say cheese.
Look at the camera, say cheese. There we go. Give me a thumbs.
Turn it around.
Huh?
Turn it around.
Turn what around?
The camera.
You want to turn the camera around? You want to take a selfie? Come here, buddy.
Say cheese.
Cheese. Why you telling me to say cheese, man? Are you the boss now? All right, bud. You ready to go to school?
No.
Whose car are we going in? That one? What about my car? What? Mama's car? You're a traitor, bro. All right, bud. You ready to go to school?
No.
You gotta stop saying that. All right, let's drop you off.
No.
All right, y'all. So Austin's finally at school. This phone isn't at max charge yet. You know, I like to start my day off with a full charge. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing on the charger so we can get it to 100%. It's a little bit later in the morning, but I'd rather start off with a full battery. And because we're using that 45 watt charger, we're getting the max speeds here. So in about 29 minutes, we should be all good to go. That's not too bad. Your phone's on 20%? Get your life together, bro. So the real workday started while I let the phone charge up to 100, and I had a few things to script out. One I was super excited about was this Apex Legends collab. Believe in manifestation, y'all. But of course, I couldn't control myself, and I wasn't able to stay off social media for too long. Okay, so I've been browsing social media for a little bit, and it kind of leads me to my first point about this phone. I love the direction Samsung is going with these. I don't know how many of you'll notice, but the edges are now a bit flatter than they used to be. With the S22 Ultra, we have very rounded edges. These are a bit flatter, so I actually find them a bit easier to hold in the hand. I'm telling you guys, I am waiting for the day when they decide to just go all flat like they have with the regular S23 and S23 Plus. I don't feel like it's a hindrance when watching content. Like I was just on Dave 2D's video. And because of the bezels, I feel like there's not really any content spilling over. So the edges are starting to go down more and more, it feels like at least, especially with the sides. So I am all for that. So using this to do everyday stuff, of course, feels very comfortable. It's still a big phone. So when you got throw it in your pocket, it's not a big deal. I think most of us are used to big phones at this point. So we aren't seeing a radical redesign by any means. It honestly almost looks exactly like the S22 Ultra. aside from those sides. Although there's another slight difference, and that's with the camera bumps. You might notice on the S23 Ultra, they look a good bit bigger than last year's, and that's because they beefed up some of the cameras here, including a 200 megapixel camera. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. And for some of the changes you can't see, the Galaxy S23 Ultra now has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, and this one is customized particularly for this phone, and it's what you would expect in 2023, you guys. It is fast, you can game, you can do pretty much anything on this. Honestly, performance to me has to be the most boring part of any smartphone review these days because they are so powerful. There's not much that you can do in a normal day that's really gonna make them not perform. That's not to say that the chipset doesn't unlock a lot of cool new features, because they always do, but from a performance perspective, after about a week, this phone is still going to do everything you want it to do. The real test is always going to be like a year later or so. All right, fellas, so I just got in touch with the contractor, the studio. We got some decisions to make about the A-roll set. So let's head on over there and check it out so we can make some choices and maybe give these guys a sneak peek of where we're gonna be shooting from now on.
What is this?
Oh, these are weather mats for Ari's car. I had to buy some like off-brand one.
Wait, hold on. That's a...
Oh, you're just seeing it?
I just saw this the first time.
Yeah, we got her car wrapped up, man. You know, she copied me a little bit with the you know, and we also did the back. So the trim goes all around the entire car, and then up here.
Oh, this is nice.
It rivals mine just a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait, don't talk.
This is better.
And what I like about it is that it's really low key. Like, you don't notice it unless you get kind of close. It's not super flashy. She didn't want to be flashy with it, so let's go to the studio.
Oh. What did I do?
Nothing. I just pressed the button.
Want to come back?
Oh, yeah. Ready? All right, so we're at the new studio. Don't mind the mess, it's really
That's
crazy.
the texture we're going for, right? That's the new texture.
This look?
Yeah.
Get out of here, Jay. What we want to put up on that wall is actually in here, but this looks so long, so we got to peek into here and make sure we got the right stuff. Interesting. So now that we have an idea of what this is, let's actually take a picture of this so that we can find a stain to match, so we can worry about these sides and get it all cohesive. Now this is something I didn't notice. It does kind of boost the shadows in the darker areas quite a bit. And just like the photos I took of Austin this morning, they looked like they really pushed up the brightness quite a bit. We'll continue taking samples. Maybe it just doesn't work with brown that well. I don't know. We'll see. Now Jay actually mentioned using the Pro mode to take a photo of this, since it allows the camera to do a little bit less interfering. And looks like this might be the answer. So we take a picture.
Oh, that's much better.
That's way better. Oh, it did still brighten it quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, take a look at the difference here. We got this versus this.
I can see it on camera.
Yeah, see how bright the wood is here? Now I get it, it makes sense. Brighter pictures are usually liked a bit more, but if you're looking for that, you know, more realistic look, then you might want to mess around with like the Pro side of the camera. Now, we all know Samsung's camera system is one of the most capable out there. What you get here are some really detailed shots, especially if you tap into that 200 megapixel setting. This to me is more of a pro setting though, so if you plan on doing something with the picture afterward, like cropping so you have the right framing, or even printing the photo, it'll certainly give you what you're looking for. There's gonna be a ton of details in those 200 megapixel shots, but I don't think most people really need to use this feature unless they've got a reason to. You also get the best camera zoom I've ever seen on a smartphone here, so if for whatever reason you need to somewhat make out something that's a bajillion miles away, you got that 100 times space zoom, but more reliable zoom options go up to about 30 times. Now, of course, the quality of the shots you get here is gonna be great. Lots of vibrant colors, sharpness, details, are what you're gonna find, but I still have some gripes about performance when it comes to folks with darker skin tones like myself. I feel like the camera tends to overcompensate a bit and boost darker skin tones to the point where they start looking a bit too bright and washed out. We pulled off some awesome portrait mode shots of Dom, but when I try to get in on the action, you can see I look quite a bit more washed out compared to him. I appreciate that it's trying to make sure I don't look too dark in our shots, but we haven't quite struck the right balance for us yet. And my only other issue, you might have guessed it, is shutter lag. I've gotten some really blurry shots when trying to get a quick photo of Austin, and in a situation where he's only down to stay still for a quick snap or two, it can be pretty frustrating. Now, has anyone figured out a solution for this yet? If you have, please let me know in the comments. Overall though, it's an amazing camera system with some of the same gripes that I've had over the last few years. And while software is the root of those issues, nobody can deny that this thing has high quality hardware that can potentially make those non-issues if Samsung ever tried to address them with an update. Battery update. We are currently at 68%, 234. It actually went down quite a bit, didn't it? Since we got it to 100%. Oh, we've been taking pictures like crazy. We're at 68%, Jay. Now, something that's actually pretty cool, you might notice that we are sitting in some direct sunlight, and the phone will automatically boost the brightness to the max so that you can see well. I do think that that's one of the most underrated features. This thing has a really nice bright screen, so being able to use it in the sun, not gonna be an issue whatsoever. And I think it's pretty fair to say that Samsung's been crushing the display game for so many years now, and it just keeps getting better. And watching content is always going to be pleasant since you've got those vibrant colors from the dynamic AMOLED 2X Infinity O display, which is just a ridiculously long name. But when you're this good, you're allowed to have 5 words or more in your name. It's just a great display for any situation you're using it in, whether it's indoors or out, thanks to the amazing brightness levels that it's capable of and those beautiful deep blacks. Okay, so it's 3:20, we got 60%. I'm gonna have us go to Home Depot. We can finish up some of this house stuff that we're doing.
Handyman job.
Not really. You know what I will say though? Even though we're out and about, I feel so comfortable using this in my hand. I don't feel like it's gonna just slip out my hand. Like, it's slippery, don't get me wrong, but something about the overall shape, I just feel a lot more confident holding it. I'm gonna throw the GPS on, even though we literally have Google Maps right here, but you know, it's all good. Wanna really use the phone, right? Like how a regular person would. Most people don't use the navigation in their cars, so.
That's true though.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, we made it. We're at 57%. All right, so we're using our raw photo here that we felt gave the best color accuracy. So, let's see.
That's close.
Natural, right? Yeah, it looks like natural is the way to go.
What are those?
So, there's different things. There's like oil-based and then there's water-based.
What's the difference?
So, I think oil-based has more of a sheen to it and it requires less coats, but it really stinks when you're applying it. Water-based doesn't smell as bad, but you'll need multiple coats. And water-based is faster to dry. Handyman.
Handyman.
That's because we were just dealing with this, so. All right, guys, so we wrapped up what we were shooting for Apex. Now it is like 6:15 p.m. I gotta act like I got a family, a newborn. So I'm gonna go hang out with them for the rest of the night. Call it a day. Let you guys know my thoughts, my final thoughts on this phone, and work on some Valentine's Day bags, apparently, with this little guy. Actually, we gotta show you how Austin looks now that he got his hair done. Austin, come here real quick, buddy. What? Check out my guy. You see his hair? Austin, show them your hair, buddy. Look up. Look up. Valentine's Day, you know? Certified lover boy right here.
Love you.
You see what I'm saying? I love you too. Go on, get out of here. Scram. But all right, guys, now let's talk about whether I recommend this. Overall, though, this is the best smartphone Samsung has ever made, with a great overall user experience, super snappy performance, awesome cameras, and a really solid battery life. I can easily go past a day of usage with this thing, and I gotta say, I'm very surprised at how good the standby time is with this. So when you're not using the phone, I feel like it just sips on the battery, With 5,000 milliamp hours, that is a beautiful thing to hear. This thing will easily last you through the day, and maybe even a little bit more if you forget to charge it, like I did with the Real Day in the Life. And with quick charging options, I don't think battery is going to be much of a concern here. And not to mention, this thing also has the S Pen for those of you who enjoy it. I'm not someone who pulls it out often, but it's there. So it's safe for me to say this is an easy phone to recommend. Unless you have the S21 or 22 Ultra, this isn't the phone you'll need to upgrade from one of those. But if you're coming from one of the non-Ultra models or maybe something even older, this is a safe bet. But what do you guys think of this year's Ultra device? Did you want to see a little something more from Samsung, or is this enough for you? Let me know and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace.